Good morning, good afternoon, good night to everyone around the world. I'm your favorite friendly neighborhood beer bro.
Mr. Kennedy!
Yes, welcome to episode 10 of the Mr. VG podcast. I hope everyone had a great weekend and a good week. I'm sorry that I don't sound as loud and as boisterous as I normally am because I'm not feeling too well today. I am under the weather. I've been fighting a cold all week, coughing and hacking. Because, me, old, me, old. So please bear with me. Got a lot of news here for y'all today. And I want to start off by talking about the Halo video game adaptation series. If you are a fan of this series, you will be happy to know that Netflix has swooped in for the win and has saved this series from the dustbin of history after it was canceled by Paramount Plus over a year ago. Once on Netflix revealed that both seasons of Halo are coming to Netflix in the US on October 1st, which is very, very close. After the third season was canceled, Netflix also acquired the rights to the sci-fi series internationally. It is already available in 45 territories, including Canada, Australia, the UK, and several countries in the Middle East. So there you go. If you are disappointed that Paramount Plus canceled this season for whatever reason that they did it for, you will now be able to get your fix by going to Netflix. And that totally sounds like a slogan. I could see that on YouTube. You'll be able to get your fix by coming to Netflix. Huzzah! And then you could randomly have, Terry Crews bust through the wall or some shit like that. Y'all know they would absolutely do that. I saw something on Twitter that piqued my interest, and I know that those are very, very dangerous words. I saw something on Twitter because we all know that Twitter is where brain cells go to die. But I just thought that this would be cool if it actually happened. Bayonetta director Hideki Kamiya throws down the gauntlet, says that if Hideo Kojima doesn't make another PT, maybe he'll give it a go. This is what he has to say. If it's impossible to resurrect PT, Kojima should make a new game in the same style. If Kojima doesn't do it, maybe I'll give it a go. And you know that had a lot of fans talking and retweeting and all that, because how could it not? So I want to give you a bit of context about PT. PT, or Silent Hills, was a horror game that legendary creator Hideo Kojima of the Metal Gear series he was working on before he had that big blow up with Konami. Konami really did him dirty, but he was working on a horror game that got canceled. It did have a demo. It was released on a PS4, and now the only way that people can play it is if you're crazy enough to go on Amazon or eBay and spend ungodly amounts of money for a PS4 that may have that demo just to play it because people are dicks. But there's your context. Hideo Kojima could do it because the same actor that he had in Death Stranding 1 and 2 was the same actor that he had in PT, so he has that connection. Plus, he has his own video game company, so he's no longer under the thumb of Konami. He could do whatever the hell he wants, unless Konami owns the rights to that, which they probably do. But since Konami is in this whole phase of trying to get back in the good graces of us fans, who's to say that they can't bring in someone like a Hideki Kamiya to work on PT or to do his own version of it? I don't see why they can't do it. So that would be cool. That would be something I would really enjoy seeing. Will we see it? Who knows? I've seen Stranger Things. And I'm not talking about the series. Some more of an update on Steam. Remember, I was talking about the situation in the past 2 episodes about the adult content and the mature content, and companies like Visa and PayPal having their foots on the back of Valve's neck to get rid of this stuff. It looks like Valve has made stricter rules to try to close loopholes when it comes to adult themed content in these games. Valve no longer allows post-launch not safe for work content unless it's new DLC. The newest chapter of the controversy happens as Steam has changed its rules to close a potential loophole, not allowing games to add any kinds of adult-only content in regular updates, only in DLC. Excuse me. So, I think that is very clever what they did here, because what they did was they put it solely in the hands of the consumer, which is us, the fans. They didn't tell these guys not to make the games. They said that if you want to add adult themes to your games, it's going to have to be through DLC, which then it's the choice of the fans if they want to buy it. So it's pretty clever that they did that. Now, y'all know how I feel about censorship. I already talked about that. I don't like it unless it's something so, so bad that everybody universally agrees that this shit should not exist. I don't agree with censoring somebody. If you're an adult, you should be able to play and watch whatever the hell you want as long as it's legal. But yeah, it was a clever move on what they did there, because they need Visa, they need MasterCard, they need PayPal, they need these companies so that they can continue to make their money and all of that stuff. It makes it easier for us to buy games, because it's a pain in the ass when you don't have those servers and those services, and you want to buy games. And losing options is never good. So I think that, we'll see if this is going to be a positive effect or not. I think it's quite clever what they did there. One more note on Steam. If you still have the Windows 32-bit versions, Steam is officially dropping support at the end of this year. The only 32-bit version of Windows that is currently supported by Steam is the Windows 10 32-bit. The company says that 0.01% of systems reported through the Steam hardware survey are using that version of Windows. On any given day, Steam sees just over 36 million daily users, so it's safe to assume that this change will only affect a few thousand. So, just to add to that, I've been noticing that Windows has been putting the final nail in the coffin of Windows 10, which I really did like that operating system. I like it way better than Windows 11, which is what I have now. It took me a long time to get used to this, because you kind of have to be a rocket scientist to do simple shit in this operating system. And it sucks to see Windows 10 go away, but hey, just like XP, you got to move on to the future. There's just stuff that they have in this that they can't have in Windows 10. It's just not a good enough operating system to carry all of these features. So if you still have that version, just be aware that they're dropping support for that. And that is it for the miscellaneous stuff. Let's move on to Xbox, because I have a lot of stuff that I want to talk about with these guys again. They're heading over to Tokyo for the Tokyo Game Show on September 25th. Xbox is heading over to Japan later this month to be hosting a live stream during the Tokyo Game Show at 3 a.m. PT time, 6 a.m. ET time. The broadcast will focus on various first parties as well as news from our partners in Japan, across Asia, and around the world. We know that players around the world delight in Japan-inspired content and games developed in Asia. We can't wait to connect with those players around the globe to show off the incredible talent and creativity behind upcoming games coming to Xbox. They didn't mention everything that they will be talking about, but it's assumed that they will be talking about the handheld that's coming out, the Ali X and the Ali. They will be talking about Ninja Gaiden 4. They will be talking about Forza Horizon 6. Possibly. Don't take my word for that. It's rumored. And they might be talking about Call of Duty Black Ops 7, which is going to be coming out in November. When I get the announcements and everything that they announced, I will read it off to you guys, as I always do. I wasn't planning on talking about this again, But you guys remember a couple episodes ago when I was talking about Microsoft doing another price hike for the Xbox consoles, and they did. They actually did increase it. It looks like they're going to be doing another one, or they may just be updating the one that I already talked about because some of these prices are fucking ridiculous. So I just wanted to read this off to you guys. The original Xbox Series X, the original price was $599.99. The new price is $649.99. The Xbox Series S, the 512 gigabyte version was $379.99. Now it's $399.99. The Series X 1 terabyte version was $429.99. Now it's $449.99. The Xbox X Digital was $549.99. Now it's $599.99, a whopping $600. The Xbox Series X Galaxy Black 2 terabyte version was $729.99. Now it's $799.99, $800. This will be taking effect October 3rd, so they actually gave us an official date this time. And I will say the same fucking thing that I said the last time that I read this. Are they out of their fucking minds? Are they trying to price the fans out? Are they trying to make it difficult for fans to buy their stuff? Because that's what it looks like to me. I don't understand how this serves any purpose other than them just being greedy. You would think that these companies would have some type of thought process. Like if I had my own video game console company and I saw that Sony was hiking up their prices and Nintendo was hiking up their prices, which they're going to do for the Nintendo Switch 2 soon. They already did it for the first version of the Switch, so I wouldn't be surprised. And then the Xbox stuff, I'm thinking to myself, hey, how can I get my console into more hands of the fans? Why not make my stuff affordable? I get it. They want to make money. But this is not going to make you money by making stuff so expensive that people can't afford it. $800. I already crapped on the price for the Ali X and the handhelds that's coming out. The Ali X is $800. Like, I mean, this is just, it's ridiculous. I don't understand how they think that this is a good idea. After that bullshit that they told us, oh, we're going to keep our prices the same for a little bit because we don't want to, it was just bullshit, man. I don't want to go down that whole thing again, but it just pisses me off because the only people that suffer for this is us. The fans, the people that, that they need to pay for their stuff so that they can make their money. Anyway, I'm done talking about that. Xbox begins rolling out the public Steam and other storefronts on its PC app. Remember when I talked about that Xbox had officially added Steam integration via a new PC app feature, but at the time it was only limited to Windows. Now, this is what they have to say. Bringing your game collection together in a new gaming library that shows your installed games from multiple PC storefronts, including the Xbox library, the Xbox Game Pass, Battle.net, and other leading PC storefronts, making it easier than ever to access your games in one place, whether you're on a Windows PC or handheld device. When you install a game from a supported PC front, it automatically will appear in your My Library within the Xbox PC app, as well as the most recent list of titles in the sidebar so you can jump back into your favorite games with just a click. That's one of the smartest things that they ever did because they're trying to make it easier if you're on PC, if you're on handheld, if you're on a tablet, if you're on a phone, that whatever games that you buy, whatever games that you buy, you will be able to play it on all of those different platforms. You don't have to keep rebuying the same game over and over and over again. And that's a smart thing that they're doing. So if you're the one that's going to go out and buy an Ali X, You don't have to worry about having to buy the same games all over again because you already have them in your library. And that's a very smart thing that they're doing. If you are a fan of the Fatal Frame series, you'll be happy to know that Fatal Frames 2 Crimson Butterfly is getting a remake. And it's going to be for the Xbox Series X and S in early 2026. Koei Tecmo has announced that Fatal Frame 2 Crimson Butterfly, the second installment in the Fatal Frame Project Zero series, is getting a full-blown remake. Crimson Butterfly will be getting a proper redo. The team describing the upcoming remake as a complete overhaul with improvements to everything from visuals to audio and the core gameplay systems and controls. I love the Fatal Frame series. Like, I know I'm not much of a fan, of, the first person style stuff, which some of them do have, but I like the psychological horror just as much as I like survival horror. You'll have random shit happen to you in these games, right? Where you're just walking down a hallway and just a random ghost or a random body comes out of nowhere. You hear noise and you're just like, what the fuck was that? No purpose. There was no reason for it to happen. They just want to fuck with you. And I love games like that, man. I really do. So they didn't give a date on it. When I get that information, I will share it with y'all because I always do. But I'm definitely excited because us horror game fans, we're eating good. Look at all of the games that they've announced, all the games that they're going to be making. I spoke about it before. Halloween. We're getting a new Halloween game. Hellraiser. Friday the 13th. Silent Hill F. We're getting a remake of the first Silent Hill. We're getting Resident Evil 9. And now we're getting Fatal Frame 2. Holy crap, dude. I've never been so excited about games. It's been a long time since I've been excited about so many games out here. Seriously. I can't wait to see what it looks like. Give me 1 second. All right. So here's a couple of games that are going to be leaving the Xbox Game Pass soon. This is as of September 30th. Ninja Gaiden Sigma, Ninja Gaiden Sigma 2, Ninja Gaiden 3 Razor's Edge. So all three Ninja Gaidens, when Ninja Gaiden 4 is getting ready to come out, they're all leaving the Game Pass. Like, come on now. And this is for all the versions, the console, PC, and cloud. You're also losing Terra Invicta for PC. I don't know what that game is, but it's only 4 games that we're losing. So, if you want to get those games, get your hands on them before the end of this month. Otherwise, they will be gone. And that's it for the Xbox portion. Let's move on to Sony. Bam. PlayStation. Couple of news and notes on them as well, too. It looks like there's a rumor. It hasn't been confirmed yet, but it's a rumor that a new PlayStation presentation, possibly a state of play, is coming within the end of the month. Sony is reportedly prepping for a new PlayStation event for, it says next week, so it could be this week or the following week. According to the reliable leaker, Nate the Hate 2. However, it's not clarified whether this could be a state of play or showcase, though there hasn't been a version of the latter in over 2 years at this point. So as far as we know, it's just rumors. But it would be nice because they did say the same thing about Nintendo. It was a different person that talked about it, and we did get a Nintendo Direct. So I can't wait to see what the hell they might be talking about. So there's that. Take that with whatever you will. I'm just reporting it. Sony rolls out a new PlayStation Family parental control app. Sony is finally catching up to something that Nintendo and Microsoft have had for years. The new PlayStation Family app mainly serves as a mobile extension of the on-console parental controls. However, parents also get a few extra perks in the mobile version. The app includes a thoughtfully guided onboarding process. I imagine many people will preferred on their phone or tablet. Once things are set up, parents can do everything they already could do on the console. This includes setting up playtime limits, viewing activity reports daily and weekly, managing spending, and creating content filters. Parents can also use the app to configure privacy settings or social features. One of the mobile app's nicer perks is the real-time notifications of what the child is playing. Parents can also approve or deny requests from their children for extra playtime or access to restricted games from within the app. The feature will likely get a lot of use. And here is my thoughts on that. Good. Because parents should be involved in what their kids are playing. If you're a little kid, you shouldn't be playing stuff, like horror games. You shouldn't be playing stuff with sexual and adult themes in it because you're a child. And my father made sure that he knew what the hell we were playing. He knew that, because a lot of that stuff used to give me nightmares when I was a little kid. He wouldn't buy us games that he knew was going to mess us up. It wasn't until we got a little older. So I absolutely think that this is a good idea, because parents should be involved more in what their kids are playing, what their kids are watching, because you're the adults, you're the parents. So a lot of these parents, there's no excuse now. There's no excuse with this shit. All these parents is like, oh, these games are poisoning our children's minds, and we don't know what to do. Now Nintendo has it, Microsoft has it, PlayStation has it. You can control what your children are playing. So there's no fucking excuse. Now it's in your hands. So I just wanted to talk about that. Now, with all the talk of all of these games, Xbox games go on the PlayStation, Xbox games go on to the Nintendo Switch. Funny enough, PlayStation has no plans to release any PlayStation games on the Xbox. At least that's what's reported. Let me see. Sony has made it abundantly clear that it no longer places values on porting its first-party PlayStation titles on other consoles. The debate surrounding that whether Sony should follow in the footsteps of Xbox and begin porting, at the very least, its older library of exclusives has been ongoing for quite some time. It seems like the company may have been heading in that direction with the release of Helldivers 2 on the Xbox Series S and X. So it doesn't look like they're going to be doing that. It says, instead of the multi-platform approach, Sony is now prioritizing the number of PS5 hardware units it sells worldwide, the number of active PlayStation users, and a total of gameplay hours. It is very standard for the company, but the move away from the multi-platform releases is somewhat surprising considering the success of Helldivers on the Xbox. Of course, this means that fans shouldn't expect to see any more major first-party PlayStation games on the Xbox. And that's sad. That is sad, because how could they not capitalize on that? I forget what the number was, but Helldivers 2 did really, really good. It did really good when it got released for the Xbox, and I don't see why Sony wouldn't want to capitalize on that. But that just sucks to hear. Are they going to keep their word? Probably not. Once they realize that they're starting to lose money from all of these hardware sales and all of these high ass prices, they'll do something. And it's like, I would like to see Uncharted and Uncharted on an Xbox console. Why not? You have Uncharted 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that last one that they had. Great games. You have to be on Sony, have to have a PlayStation to play it, and I think that sucks. I think being able to play an Uncharted game on the Switch would be great. Or the Switch 2 if they can handle it. But, I mean, it is what it is. We'll see what happens. Surprisingly, that's all the notes that I have for Sony. That's surprising. So we'll just move on ahead to Nintendo. Yes. Not much going on in the Nintendo camp as well either. But I just wanted to talk about this because I had to do a double take and I was like, oh God, no. We'll talk about that in a second. I want to talk about the Nintendo Direct that we just had. I'm going to talk about all the announcements that they had. Give me one sec. So this is all the stuff that they announced. The Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie is going to be released April 3rd, 2026. I already told y'all about that last week. Super Mario Brothers Galaxy 1 and 2 will be released for the Nintendo Switch October 2nd. Mario Tennis Fever will be released February 12th, 2026. Super Mario Brothers Wonder, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, will be released in spring 2026. Yoshi and the Mysterious Book will be released in spring 2026. Storm Lancers was already released. Dinkum will be released November 5th, 2025. I don't even know what the hell that even is. But Popucom, that would be released in, I don't know if I said that right or not. Sounds dirty. Anyways, though, it's released during the holidays. They didn't give a specific date. Tamagotchi Life, Living the Dream, that's going to be spring 2026. And the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection, October 30th, 2025. Final Fantasy VII Remake, the Intergrade, that will be released January 22nd, 2026. Linked, Banner of the Spark, will be released. That was already released that day. Hades 2 will be released September 25th, so that's coming up very soon. Hyrule Warriors, Age of Imprisonment, November 6th, 2025. Dragon Quest Reimagined will be released February 5th, 2025. Fatal Frames 2, Crimson Butterfly Remake, early 2026. So the Switch 2 is getting that. One Piece Pirate Warriors, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, fall 2025. Overcooked 2, Nintendo Switch edition, holiday 2025. Stardew Valley, the Nintendo Switch 2 edition, will be released fall 2025, so within the next couple of months. Human Fall Flat will be released spring 2026. Power Wash Simulators, another simulator game. How many simulator games are we going to get? We got Goat Simulator, we got Supermarket, we got Water Park Simulator. A water park simulator. Shopping simulators. Do people actually play this shit? Seriously. What's next? Are they going to have a brush your teeth simulator? Brush your hair? Dental floss? Are they going to have a sleeping simulator where you just play a game about somebody fucking sleeping? I don't see what the purpose of these games are, but apparently people like this shit. I mean, it is what it is. Sukia, I believe that's how that's pronounced. Game Planet, that's going to be released winter 2026. Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, December 4th, 2025. Donkey Kong Bonanza and DK Island Emerald Rush DLC, that was released already that day. Pokemon Pokopia 2026 Pokemon Legends Z and A. New Megas and the Mega Dimension DLC will be released. That was already released that day. Dynasty Warriors Origin. Oh, hell yes. Anybody that likes the Warriors games, Dynasty Warriors and Samurai Warriors, I love games like that. Sometimes you just want to have mindless fun. Just give me a character where I could just go and just wreck armies of soldiers. I love games like that. Mind-numbingly fun. Dynasty Warrior Origins will be released January 22nd, 2026. A new, Monster Hunter Stories 3 Twisted Reflection, March 13th, 2025. That already came out. Resident Evil Requiem, Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, and Resident Evil Village will all be released Well, they were already released. It says 2025 here, February 27th, 2025. How the hell can Requiem be out? It's not even out yet. I guess they must have meant 2026. Because Requiem ain't even out yet. Seven Biohazard, yeah. And Village, yeah. If you want to play that on the Switch too, good for you. Fire Emblem, Fortune's Weave, Nintendo Switch, that's also coming out for the Switch 2 in 2026. So those are all of the announcements. Now, I left out one because I wanted to specifically talk about this, because I had to double take this one. Nintendo also announced that it is releasing an online expansion pass by adding Nintendo's biggest flop of all time. And y'all know what I'm talking about, the Nintendo Virtual Boy. And I just sat back in my chair and I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I lived through those days. The Nintendo Virtual Boy is hands down the absolute dirt worst console that Nintendo has ever made. If you like your games being in red and black all the time and it hurts your eyes, you feel like you're looking through a kaleidoscope, then this is the game for you. I cannot believe they're bringing this shit back when there's so many other Nintendo consoles and libraries that they could implement. But apparently February 17th, 2026, they're bringing back the Nintendo Virtual Boy, at least to the Nintendo Switch 2, and you need a special accessory to play it. So they're actually coming out with a version of the Nintendo Virtual Boy, the visor that you have to buy in order to be able to play it. I can't believe it. This was announced back on September 12th. But these are all the games that are going to be for it, because there really wasn't that many games for it anyways, because it flopped before it can have any more. 14 games. Wario Land, Galactic Pinball, Red Alarm, Terror Boxer, Mario Tennis, Jax Bros, Vertical Force, Mario Clash, Golf, Virtual Bowling, and Space Invaders. If you've never seen what these games look like, head over to the Angry Video Game Nerds channel, because he has a whole entire video of the Nintendo Virtual Boy, and he's playing all of the games. They look like absolute dog shit, man. I just can't believe it. I can't believe they're bringing this shit back, dude. Oh, all right. I'm done talking about that. So, it looks like Nintendo has won a lawsuit for $2 million from a Nintendo Switch modder in order to pay in piracy lawsuit. Nintendo has notched another victory in its crusade against piracy last week. The Washington District Court judge, Ryan Daly, ordered Ryan Daly, that's the guy's name that has to pay. Sorry, I'm tripping over my words. To pay Nintendo $2 million and stop selling modded Switch consoles online, as reported by the Engadget. In a copyright lawsuit filed last year, Nintendo accused Daly of operating the website Modded Hardware, which sold modded Switch consoles, mod chips used to hack into Switch devices, and mag flash cartridges that allowed people to play pirated copies of games. If y'all remember, I did talk about that for a little bit. I did talk about that. Nintendo claimed Daly caused the company significant and irreparable harm, and the judge agreed. The MIG devices and mod chips and hacked consoles and circumvention services allowed members of the public to create, distribute, and play pirated Nintendo games on a massive scale. The ruling state that Daly denied any wrongdoing. Piracy lawsuits from Nintendo have been becoming increasingly common, with the company winning its case against a file sharing site accused of hosting pirated games earlier this year. Nintendo's legal actions have led to the shutdown of Switch emulators, including Yazoo and Ryujinx. The company has made it clear that it may break Switch 2 consoles if players try to mod the device. Daly, who chooses to fight Nintendo without a lawyer, is now banned from modding Switch consoles as well as from using devices designed to circumvent the console's security measures. The judge also ordered the seizure and impoundment and destruction of all devices owned by Daly that may contain copyright infringement material. So he fucked around and found out. That's basically what happened. What did he think was going to happen? Seriously, Nintendo has been going around and they have been getting all these sites banned. They've been going after emulators. They've been going after websites that have ROMs. I just talked about the last guy that's in the middle of another lawsuit that they have because he's out there selling, fake Switch accessories. So he's probably going to end up losing as well, too. I mean, he should have just counted his losses and that was it. Just get the hell out, bro. So he has to pay Nintendo $2 million that I'm pretty sure he does not have. It is crazy. It is crazy, folks, but it is what it is. Now, I want to talk about this because it's more like the Xbox thing, but it's not. It's just Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4 performances degrade on the Xbox the longer you play. Devs suggest a workaround. Borderlands 4 has been out on the Xbox just under a week now, despite positive early reviews from the press. Players have suffered a bunch of performance issues around launch, and the team has now suggested a temporary workaround for a specific problem on the console. Basically, folks have been complaining that Borderlands 4 performances actually gets worse the longer you play on the console. This is what Gearbox Randy Pitchford had to say. He had to say as suggested that the players try to reboot the game when these performances occur. And while devs name drop PlayStation 5 Pros in their response, we're seeing complaints of the same issues happening on Xbox Series X and S. So these jokers have said, if you're having problems, try resetting the console. No kidding. As if these players haven't already tried that shit. Give me a break. How is that a workaround? How is that a workaround? Your game should be working flawlessly. Your game should be working flawlessly. Why the hell do you give out stupid? They shouldn't have said nothing. They shouldn't have said shit. They should have just said, look, we're working to fix it. And that's it. This is his brilliant idea. Reset the console. Reset the console if it's not working. Oh, no shit, Sherlock. I'm pretty sure that all of these gamers have already tried that and it just doesn't fucking work. Imagine that. That's crazy, man. I keep talking about this stuff, how these guys just keep bullshitting you, man. They're putting out games that ain't finished. I've already talked about this, man. Stop putting out these games that don't work if you're not gonna make sure that it's 100%. And that's pretty much all I have for my notes today. Pretty light in the world of gaming these days, at least this week anyways. Thank you to everyone that showed up, and I appreciate everyone that listened to the show. I will have everything uploaded and pushed out to the feed within the next hour. I'm going to lay down somewhere because, like I said, my head is starting to throb. I'm not feeling too great. I will be back possibly tomorrow. I was trying to play the Tormented Souls 2 demo, but I was having some issues with it and I just couldn't do it. I'm gonna try again tomorrow. If not, then I'll be back Sunday once again to play some more Tormented Souls. Love every single one of y'all. Y'all take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I will see y'all Later.